where we discuss. Oh man, I can't speak today. Where we discuss Croatia, um, dropping all three points at the end in a last minute equalizer to Albania as they um, finish only with 1 point in that game. They only have 1 point so far to this group. So we gotta discuss, are their European Championships over? Look, in terms of this game, real quick. Wow, really, really bad first half from Croatia. I mean, really, I can't put into words how disgusting and frustrating of a half that was for a Croatian national team. They just really got outplayed by a very much weaker team, in my opinion. Albania is a strong team, don't get me wrong, in terms of, there's no weak teams at these European Championships. But in that performance, oh, I just got a bad cramp. In that performance, though, from Croatia in that first half, really, really weak performance, in my opinion. Just disgusting performance from them. They really should have been down almost 3-0. They just really got outplayed. There was many chances that Albania had throughout that first half, but Albania were not able. They didn't really have the quality to make Croatia play. They really lacked that finishing touch, and that kept Croatia alive in the game. And in the second half, they really turned it back on, and it looked like a dominant Croatia team that we really seen, that we've seen at the last previous international tournaments. Just really, really good performance in that second half. And then they're able to equalize, and then they quickly, within minutes later, are able to get a second to take the lead, and we're just like, wow, Croatia, they just done it again. In those tight moments that they need to save their tournament, they pull it off yet again. But then they just take their back foot off. They played very, very good in terms of playing, attacking, and really going after the game. And they take the lead, and then suddenly they let Albania get control again and be the main protagonists. And Albania started to generate more opportunities within the last 10 minutes. And I'm just like, what in the world? This is so un-Croatia-like. Croatia has always been a professional team, and that was an unprofessional performance in the last 10 games. And how I've seen Croatia and how they're able to see our results, we did not see that. And let's face it, this Croatia team is not going to go far because they're just very weak defensively. This is not the same Croatian team as previous. Now, he made the change that I fully expected him to do and go with the Guardiola as the center back partnership next to Sutalo. And, it made it a little bit better. It wasn't always open in between the center backs. But just in general, as a team-wise, defensively, they just conceded way too many chances. And they were really just too much pressure was being put on them. And, eventually Albania was able to make them pay in the final minute. And, it's a fair result for Albania. They deserved at least a point, especially based on how they performed in that first half. They deserved at least a point. And, it's a bad result for Croatia, in my opinion, dropping points to Albania, losing that first game 3-0, because now you're putting yourself in a position where you have to go to Albania against the Italy national team, win the game, and that might not be enough. Now, chances are more likely than not, it's the same with the Scotland situation with the third place teams. A win will probably be enough, but it still makes it very interesting. And also Albania are also in the same position where if they can beat Spain in that final group stage game, and that could get tricky with, who knows, Spain might be resting that final game. If they win that game, they also have a chance to finish third place. And they also have, let's say, they finish with 4 points and Croatia finish with 4 points. They'll have the superior goal differential over Croatia more likely than not, unless, because based on how the goal differential is right now, it could always change. Maybe Croatia dump Italy or something of that sort. But, Croatia find themselves in a really difficult position at these European Championships to move on to the knockout stage. And let's see if they're able to scrape into the knockout stage games with how open they are, the amount of chances they concede, how open they can be defensively. any team will be licking their chops. Any attack will be fancying their opportunities going up against Croatia because they just conceded way too many opportunities. And defensively, they're very, very weak in individual battles. Defensively, they make a lot of mistakes. And the way that they were completely dominated and outclassed by Albania in the first half, I think any team that's good enough to reach the knockout stage game are going to, take advantage of the dominance Albania was able to have in that first half with goals. And I think it'll be similar outfit to that Croatia-Spain first half, just how weak they are defensively. So is this European Championship over for Croatia? Not necessarily, because they're still mathematically alive and they only really need a win, and they're more likely than not through to the knockout stage games, depending on how the third place things fall in their favor. But based on these performances that we have seen, even if they get through, are they seriously a major contributor at this European Championship? So I'm gonna ask the question: is the European Championships over after dropping points to Albania? No, it is not over. It's on life support. It really is. It's on life support, and they could be in trouble. And they've been in this situation, by the way, at the last European Championship. They entered the final group stage game only with the point after losing to England in the opening game and drawing with Czech Republic. They went into that final game against Scotland only with the point, and they needed to win that game to move on as a third place team out of that group. They ended up winning that game. You had a captain's performance by Luka Modric, who scored a wonder goal, and they ended up winning that game 2-1 to move on to the knockout stage. But it took that sort of performance, and this is, by the way, this is going to be going up against an Italian national team, which is much better than what that Scotland team presented on that day. And also this Italian national team, who knows? Now they could be resting based on whatever happens with the Spain game tomorrow, but they could also be in a position where they're having to chase a result in that Croatia game. So their European Championships are definitely on life support. So the European Championships are not over, but it's on life support. Now, is this Croatia team a legit contender to make a run, a run that we've seen this Croatia team do in the past few World Cups? No, I don't see that happening because they're just too weak defensively and they give up too many chances. They give up way too many clear-cut chances, and a team that has any sort of potent attack, kind of like what Spain was able to do, is able to take advantage of them. And I'm pretty sure that's what Italy are gonna do to them in that final game. So I think, yeah, Croatia's European Championships might be over very, very soon. Thank you for tuning into the GSMC Soccer Podcast, presented by the GSMC Sport Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to subscribe to the show and leave a positive review. It really does make a difference. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. Thank you once again, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.